right, everyone, welcome to Rhythm and Roads. I'm your host, Joshua Jacob. We have two special guests. We have Allison and Vaughn from Las Cruces, New Mexico, and they are artists and they do a lot for Las Cruces. So we're gonna get to know their story. So welcome, guys.
Hey, what's up?
Oh, guys, welcome. So I've looked at your work already, Vaughn, and great stuff. And I know there's a film, like an animated film that you did as well. So we can,
Mhm.
yeah, surely get into that. But I want to get to know you and Allison, see what what your stories from the beginning on getting to being an artist. So, Allison, if you want to go first.
Right, awesome. So mine's kind of a little bit of like a cheesy story. I remember I got into art stuff only because I was playing the Sonic the Hedgehog games, and that really jump started a lot of it for me.
Oh, okay.
But a lot of me wanting to be an animator probably came from like seeing a bunch of, I think it was like Scooby-Doo's, like Courage the Cowardly Dog, a lot of those early like 2000s things.
Yeah.
Um, but it really just kind of like jump started me wanting to become an animator, especially with, like Flipnote Hatena being a thing. And I'm like, okay, maybe I should go to like art college and stuff like that. So I ended up going to a similar college with Vaughn. That's where we ended up meeting and everything.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, it's been a pretty fun experience.
So Sonic was one of the top that you liked, huh? Because I
It
actually
was
grew up,
Sonic the Hedgehog.
yeah, I actually played a lot of the games back with the Sega Genesis. Good stuff.
Yeah, I think the one that I was mainly on was I think it was Sonic Heroes, but I think that's like where a lot of people like my age ended up getting into it.
Uh,
hmm
well, the movies I have to say are pretty hilarious, especially with Jim Carrey.
I still haven't seen the
You
movies.
haven't
I was
seen
like,
them? Oh, no
I
way.
let them build up, and then I never got around to it.
Okay. Yeah, I mean I never really watched all of them, but I saw the latest one that came out and I it was hilarious. So I recommend
They put my favorite character in it, so I'm gonna have to.
it. Which is which character?
It's Shadow.
Oh, Shadow?
Yep.
That's cool. Yeah, definitely check it out. And so you're in Las Cruces, correct, Allison? Or no?
Oh, we're actually not from Las Cruces. Las
Oh,
Cruces
okay.
actually reached out to us just to have
Nice.
our film featured. I
Oh, I
think that
see,
they
I
saw
see.
our work in like in other festivals. So they reached out. So we unfortunately just due to Allison's based out of Alabama right now. I'm based
Oh,
out of
really?
Georgia.
Okay.
Yeah, we weren't able to go in person, but it was very kind of like Las Cruces Film Fest to like reach out to us to
Oh,
you
of
know
course, yeah.
get involved with having like our short in it, even though we are unfortunately other side of the US right now.
Very on the other side. Sorry. Yeah, I thought you guys were
Yeah.
based in Las Cruces, but no problem. Well,
Other
thank
side.
you. Yeah, thank you, Allison, for sharing that. What about you, Vaughn?
Ooh, bad timing on my sip. Yeah, so
It's all right, man.
I grew up like well, I grew up in Mississippi watching honestly just a lot of TV. Like I was very much a you know like we didn't have cable but I thankfully grew up at the time where there was like a ton of good like PBS shows, like a lot of animated stuff, as well as like kind of the rise of like the first streaming services.
Yeah.
um so I was like constantly watching like just like film and TV, and I think that like kind of put it in the back of my head. And I think only in like high school I was like, oh wait, like I've been doing all this drawing and like have so much passion for like consuming this type of media that it like really clicked that like, oh, I could just do that. So at the time I was really just focused in like drawing and comics. And then I ended up going to UEH where me and Allison met, University of Alabama, Huntsville, for animation.
Okay.
Yeah, and when I got there, I thought it was going to be a much more like 3D focused program, just because it is like a state school. But thankfully, there was like kind of a way to like carve out doing 2D animation there.
Okay.
Um, and yeah, so that's where me and Allison met. And our film Purple Hours, that's like featured in the festivals, like was done like as a like grant project through the school,
Oh, wow.
like over one of the summers. Yeah.
It's called Purple. What was it again?
Oh, Purple Hours
Purple Hours.
is
Okay.
the yeah.
Interesting. So going back to what you said about PBS, what was your favorite or those shows you would like to watch during that time, like growing up?
Ooh, um,
I know there was Arthur,
Arthur was
there
so
was
good.
Magic School Bus,
Oh,
Cyber
Cyber
Chase, I
Chase.
think takes the cake. Like that one, oh
Cyber
my God.
Chase. I don't remember that one.
Yeah.
Isn't it still going?
It could be. I'm honestly not sure. Like after, gonna be honest, after I hit about what, like 5 feet 6 inches, I think that's when I stopped being attuned to it. But I think I've seen like
Yeah.
some more recent clips, like
Yeah.
well, like channel surfing.
Well, I gotta say, Arthur was definitely hilarious at the time. It had funny humor, kind of like a little bit like Looney Tunes a little bit, but just like adult humor a little bit. Maybe like,
Yeah.
you're just like, wow, like they were ahead of their time, even for us adults. I mean, I was when I was watching it, I probably was in my early, like 11 years old, 12, maybe even then. But I was like, this is funny, man. Like the stupid stuff they would say. So anyway. But interesting. So let's move forward on your projects. So Allison, are you working on anything at the moment?
Let's see. I think right now I am working on a little, I think it's like a little game trailer for a little mobile app that's about to come out.
Oh,
But I
cool.
think that's the main thing that I'm doing. Other than like, like personal projects, just trying to practice stuff. So I don't really have too much going on right now.
Yeah. I see some of your work in the background.
Oh
But is there a way to bring up one closer to the camera to see what it looks like?
yeah, sure. Let's see. If anything, I can probably pick up the entire camera because you're on my iPad.
Oh, there you go. That works too.
All right. So there is a Sonic up there, but this right here is actually my other short film that I ended up doing for my own like
Oh, wow.
short filming year. This one was Monsters Mania.
Monsters Mania. Okay.
Yeah, and then I have a bunch of just like characters I've drawn and a little Usagi from Sailor
Wow, great
Moon.
work. Look at that.
Well, thank
I
you.
can't even do
So
nothing close to that.
awesome.
Man, that's definitely skill right there.
Thank you. Those
Yeah.
actually came from our, I think, our printmaking class or something for so when I got free prints, I just put them on the board.
Hey, cool. And
Well,
so,
thank you.
the first one you showed me, the monsters, is it Mania?
Yeah, Monsters Mania. That was my we had a so like Purple Owls was like the grant film, but there was also a class in college that was actually short film. And for my last year being there as a senior, I ended up directing that one.
Oh, you did. Very cool.
Yes.
And what's the story behind that film?
It was mainly like 2000s inspired. Again, I really like Courage the Cowardly Dog, Billy
Oh,
Mandy,
yeah.
stuff like that. And
Yeah.
I love Halloween, and it was still on my mind, especially with it
Okay.
being like the fall semester. So I had a little bit of like Halloween brain rot in me.
Yeah.
But it's pretty much just three characters. Two of them are giving one of them a little bit of havoc, and they're just trying to survive.
Very
Just
cool.
silly roommates.
So that film is somewhat inspired by Courage the Cowardly Dog?
It's a little bit more of like the spooky vibe to it. I know
Okay.
in the future I really want to do more stuff with it, so it would probably go a little bit more towards it,
Oh, nice.
especially
Okay.
now that I have like the full box set and can rewatch it. So
Yeah. Well, that's cool. Yeah, I actually love Courage back when what is it, the Cartoon Network? Oh my God, stay up late watching that show. It was
oh,
hilarious.
oh, good, me too.
Or well now yeah, you can watch it on YouTube now.
That is
What
true.
about you, Vaughn? What projects have you done lately?
So after graduating from college, I started working for a YouTube channel as an animator. The
Oh, you
channel's
did.
Rational. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So channel is Rational Animations. And so I that's kind of what I spend most of my time on. There's some like personal projects that I've done along the way, and like some like little like gig work for like comic stuff with the ACLU, and some like smaller like a little bit of animation on like an indie documentary, a little bit of storyboarding for a pilot. But most of the stuff I've done has been for Rational Animations. But
Okay.
I in the past year, like at the end of 2024, I finished off another film that Allison and I worked on back in college. It was like 95% done for so long, and just needed that like final push in compositing. So yeah, got that one out
Nice.
last year. Yeah, that one's called Gottlieb's Ultimatum. It's another like, you know, animated short. This one was definitely more like comedy focused rather than like, like more of a drama. But yeah.
Yeah. And so what motivated you to want to start with animation than like actual film?
Honestly, just I think it was an access and education thing. Just because was constantly drawing when I was younger. Um, and so that felt like my main like asset of what I could do.
Yeah.
But to be honest, if so at UAH they started developing a film program there, I think when I was halfway through. But I I could very well see a reality where I just went fully into film.
Wow.
Because it's something that I've always been interested in.
Yeah.
I've been meaning to take, just a PA workshop just for fun. Like I feel like I'm cemented enough in animation now that I'm solid with rocking with it, but I do really find so much of an interest in like live action film development, even though like it's very rare that I'm touching it directly.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, animation, I feel, and probably Allison can answer this too. Does that take a little longer than the actual film, or is it about the same time frame? Because I mean, you're drawing, you're like, what's the background on that?
Uh Takes a long time.
Does it like longer than
Yes,
actual shooting of film?
I would say so. It's hard to say because I have not been on a full set, but for example, Purple Hours, it's like just under 3 minutes, like including credits.
Yeah.
But between me, Allison, and other people who did like little bits of work through like sound, voice acting, like little bits of compositing, that was probably around 1,000 to 1,200 hours of
Wow.
manpower behind it. I would assume that takes a 2 minute short might not take that in live action, but I could so be wrong. Um,
That's a lot of hours. Oh my God.
yeah, yeah. You'll be animating like for like dozens of hours for like a shot that goes by in a flash.
Is
Or drawing
that
a
right?
background forever.
Oh,
I
yes,
did all
yeah.
the backgrounds. They took forever.
Wow. Even backgrounds, huh? They take a while. Yeah.
A lot of them, well, you have to make sure you have your perspective, everything right, so the characters can
Yeah.
actually like walk around. Like usually when you're doing animation, you start with like a layout. That way your
Oh,
animator can animate on the scene and at the same time you'll have the same exact like grounding so you can paint the backgrounds at the same time.
okay.
But I know I did a lot of the concepts, the backgrounds, and then I did just a little bit of animation. A lot of it is mainly like Vaughn making them dance. So
All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, it was definitely like Allison like completely took charge of like, figuring out a lot of the background style, the like visual style for how everything would look. And I focused more on like storyboards and like animation stuff.
Wow.
But we both definitely had like hands in each other's pot with like,
Yeah.
collaborating on something when it is, for like 99% of it just us working on it. It's easy to kind of like trade off and get feedback and in those kind of things.
No, that's cool. Yeah.
yeah,
I don't know if you've seen that movie called Wish. Did you ever see Wish
I don't
I
think I
haven't
have.
from
seen that
Disney?
actually.
No. So that's from Disney. It's actually a film that they were celebrating their how many years? I think like it was like either their 50th anniversary or 100. I think they were celebrating their 100 years with
Oh,
Disney, but they
Hmm.
were making this film that took 10 years of this animated movie. It took 10 years to make it. And I was like wow. But the thing is, what's really cool about this film is that they brought in certain characters from old classic films like Bambi, Aladdin, Peter Pan, and they would put little hints of this film, of those classics in this film, which the film's totally different from that. It's just its own. But because of their celebrating their 100 years, they added classics throughout the film that you would be like, oh, look, there's Peter Pan, there's Hook, there's
Hmm.
Bambi, there's, you know what I mean? Little slight hints here and there in the film. But what they mentioned is that it took 10 years to make, and I'm like, that's a long time, man, just for an animated movie.
Completely believable. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, it takes
wow.
a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially with something like feature where like, you know, they're able to just put a lot of manpower and thought behind
Yeah.
just making a huge, well put together product at the end. Like, yeah, that amount of work is like massive, massive.
I was like, that's insane. But you know, the outcome of it, it's well worth it. You're like, wow, that's incredible. You know, and they actually I think the film was also sketched. So you know how they done a lot of animation back of like computer work
Hmm.
like now, but back when they used sketch paper and all that. I think they did that for this 100 years. That's why it had a bit of a different look like back when, you know.
Hmm.
Anyway, I just thought that's really cool because I'm a huge fan of them doing the old sketch work too. Just
Oh yeah.
something about it just has that feel. So, but I do want to ask you for those that are wanting to pursue being an artist, being in animation, like what advice can you give to the viewers, both Allison and Vaughn, to those that are wanting to get into that field of animation?
Honestly, I think it's more of just making sure that you're practicing. You have so many resources online now because, like, whenever we started,
Yeah.
that was like the early 2000s. Like, YouTube was like pretty much just barely standing to begin with. You would watch like your shows in multiple parts, not very many like tutorials on how to draw. But now
Okay.
there's literally websites dedicated to it and everything. But
Wow.
the biggest thing is probably to make sure that you network. You can get a degree, but your network is going to be your strongest thing. I would recommend if you go to college for like animation, it's more so to talk to the people and get like a little experience of working with others, but I don't think it's really required.
Really? Okay. So networking is really the strongest to get the
Yes.
connects for that. Okay.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with everything Allison said. Like the I think best parts of you know, going a traditional route with, going to college for the thing that you're interested in going
Yeah.
into, you only really get the benefit of that if you kind of immerse yourself very deeply with working with other people, because truly that is the only difference
Mm.
between like educating yourself through online resources and programs and doing in-person classes where you're able to like collaborate and give feedback like between people. And honestly, there are just so many like like animated shorts that are like looking for people. Like you'll see them all the time on LinkedIn. It's like, looking for a volunteer animator, looking for a volunteer background artist, like a lot of
Oh,
those things. Like if you're looking to break in, it does like it can be brutal to do volunteer work. But like truly like building those like connections and like learning so much from working with other people is
Yeah.
really valuable
It
in
is.
such a collaborative field, because pretty much no animation is done fully independently. There's a couple, like independent people on like YouTube who are able to do like a fully done project by themselves. But professionally, like there are just so many hands
Yeah.
that are required, that like
Wow.
really working with other people anywhere you can and learning from others and just being good friends with other people in animation, like it really does get you far.
That's awesome. Thank you, Vaughn, for sharing that. And Allison, do you guys have your own production company as well, like together, that you produce animation, or you work for other? No.
No,
Okay.
we are pretty much like whenever we do collaborate on stuff, it's definitely on like an informal, basis, to
Oh,
like,
okay.
yeah,
mm.
two friends like drawn together, like less of an LLC and more of a, Google Doc with our all of our
Yeah.
stuff organized together.
No, that's cool. That's fine. Sometimes I lately some interviewers I've had they have their own production company or something small, you know. So I just wondered.
Hmm.
Um, and what's the next project that you're in the works? Anything that you're doing?
It's definitely further along for me. But I've been like kind of in the early stages of like concepting out a like a kind of mixed media like YouTube series. Again, like very animated, but trying to find ways that I could do animation in a way that isn't so labor intensive, like
Oh,
bringing
okay.
in like photo bashing like real images and like animating those like combined with hand drawn animation, stuff like that. Still in very early stages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything for you, Allison?
I think right now I'm mainly working on like my Monsters Mania stuff because I would really like to make a small pilot for it since it is
Okay.
kind of animated in like a shorter amount of like time frame. Because like I'm trying to pull a lot again from like the early 2000s, how they had like shorter like episodes in like one, if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But I know I'm trying to concept some of that. I have a small idea, but I haven't had anything like drawn out just yet.
Oh, okay. But eventually you'll have something in the works.
Yes, I know a lot of the voice actors really wanted to come back and work on it, so it was really
Yeah.
sweet.
Hmm.
That's cool. So yeah, that's one thing too. You mentioned about the early 2000s, how the episodes were very in the like shorter, but they were good though, but not too long. It was just enough time where you just enjoyed it and you're like, wow,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
Sometimes I miss those. I'm like, oh, sometimes it just prolongs. You're like, nah,
Yeah.
like, can you
Yeah,
just like get to the good parts and then that's it? Like, you have to fast forward anyway,
it either prolongs or we have like short TikTok videos.
or
There's
that,
there's
Yeah.
only the two.
yeah, exactly. So Vaughn, there is a picture. I guess uh, it was the Christmas tree one. I think I liked it earlier on your page. That like, what was the inspiration behind that? It's because I think I read that Christmas was over, so you wanted to put that up. Did you
Was
actually do?
that
That's a beautiful
on
drawing. Yeah.
was that a painting on Instagram?
Yeah, on Instagram.
Yeah, so that was done in my senior year of high school.
Oh,
I
okay.
I honestly I do not post on Instagram as much as I probably should.
Respect that.
But yeah, so that's a bit of an older one, but me and my friend Isabella, we used to do like live painting a lot. Like
Oh, wow. Okay.
yeah, I don't think that I have any directly on hand, but yeah, so it would we had a class with an art teacher who she was awesome,
Mhm.
and she liked us a lot, so she kind of just let us do whatever.
Wow, that's
So
cool.
she like literally let us just use the back room, not have to do any actual assignment things, and we would just
Wow.
do like in the like hour and a half class period, just like a full like painting based either
Yeah.
off something we had sketched out or like a live painting. That, for example, was we just took easels and went to like the main like rotunda in our high school, and we just started painting like the Christmas tree
Dang.
that they still had up. And yeah, definitely yeah, that was sweet. I still do like a good bit of like live drawing and live painting. It's just a really good exercise, but it's also like very fun to be able to finish something in such a short period of time, especially when, you know, like
Yeah.
animation and storytelling just takes so long to have something finished.
Right.
That's when those like live paintings just feel so good.
But yeah, it's a beautiful painting. I really love the. I mean, I'm huge on Christmas trees, and that's why when I saw that, I was like,
Oh
wow,
yeah.
beautiful. It's very nice, very warmy, and just it was nice. Now, your animated film that I saw on your YouTube link, what's the story behind that one? What's the name of it?
Um, with Purple Hours or Gottlieb's
Gottlieb's.
Ultimatum.
Yeah, that one. Gottlieb's.
Yes, so that one was believe third year film.
Okay.
So we had two like collaborative film classes that we had to take for school, and that was the one in my third year, and so I was the director on that one. And a friend of ours, Tucker Youngblood, he was the animation director. And yeah, so it's a kind of like mixed media animation, like spy comedy
Oh,
type
cool.
thing.
Yeah.
Um, Yeah, so that's the one that you know, had a ton of work on it from other people, that over time, we probably had like 9 or 10 different people total, like with their hands in it between like animation backgrounds. Like Allison did like every single one of the backgrounds, I think
Oh,
except
you
for like
did?
2 or 3 that Tucker did for that one, and
Yeah,
yeah, a
it's just
bunch of
other
the
this one.
animation too.
Very cool.
Yeah. But yeah, so I finished off it took a while, but I finished off the compositing for that just this past year. So yeah, it's been nice being able to have that one out after it's, been sitting mostly completed. Um
Nice. And
yeah.
so it was you, Allison, and about maybe 9 other people,
Yeah,
artists.
something like that. Yeah, it was mostly like me, Allison, and Tucker in the like main like um like visual story and like animation like push on it, and then like a lot of the other people like with animation, it's a lot of like giving people like the assets to then work off of
Okay.
um in like just like creating the animation for shots. So you'll have like you'll hand off people boards, the sound file that they're like working off of, and like the character design sheet. Um and yeah, so that it was a lot of help from animators on that one as well.
That's cool. Well, I mean, I haven't seen it yet. I just saw the beginning of it and I was like, oh, this is interesting. I need to watch it when I have the time because right now I'm doing
Yeah.
a festival run with interviews. So I'm editing that the past, yeah, last night, today, and tomorrow.
hmm
But yeah, I definitely want to check it out because I loved the way that it was. I already saw the animation of it. I was like, oh, that's interesting. So
hmm
good
Oh,
work on
thank
that.
you.
Yeah. Before we end on the episode, how can the viewers find you both on social media to follow up with your work and get updates?
Well, you can find my films believe Vaughn Oeth on YouTube. You can watch Purple Hours there and Gottlieb's Ultimatum. Some other projects from the past. I'm also on Instagram at Vaughn Oeth Art. VAUGHNOETHART. Yeah.
Sweet.
Perfect. I know most of my stuff is usually under Pichikeen, and it's not spelled as normal. Peachy is Pichi. I usually post on Bluesky now, but I am on Twitter, and Monsters Mania can be found on my Newgrounds or my YouTube under the same name.
Oh, okay. So you're not, I'm sorry to ask, but you're not on Instagram?
I am. I don't use it very frequently. I
Okay.
believe someone took my username, so I think it's Pichikeen with a dash under
Oh, no way.
it.
No.
Ah,
Same thing with Twitch. I had to take the L and put an L in my name.
jeez. That's crazy. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for your time coming on Rhythm and Roads, sharing the journey, and thank you for just being an inspiring artist. I mean, you're living the dream of the impossible of those that want to do this, and sometimes they're not able to do it or they are not there yet. But you're being the light of inspiration for other artists to want to do it because of your work, and so that's really cool. I mean, I can't animate. I don't know how to do that. I love film. I mean, I like making little shorts and all that, but to animate and draw and all that, that's, man, my brother knows how to draw and he's just a really skilled artist, but just, I'm like, I can't do that. That's just like, man. So that's just awesome
Anyone
for you
can.
guys. Oh, sorry?
So anyone can. You just got to start somewhere.
No, that's true. Yeah. Anyone can and put the time in it and dedication and yeah, very true. So, well,
Sweet.
thank
Well,
you
thank you
guys.
so much, Joshua.
No, yeah, it's been such a
Yeah.
pleasure. And then tomorrow I'll post your interviews so that way everyone can see the full interview. So I'm excited about that. But all right, guys, well, thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next episode.